The shuttle approached the massive space station slowly. Wu watched through the window as the metal structure grew larger and larger. He had traveled 3 weeks to reach this place. This meeting would decide everything for humanity. The Galactic Trade Consortium wanted to talk about Earth joining their group, but Wu knew this would not be a friendly conversation. The docking process took 20 minutes. When the doors finally opened, Wu stepped into a corridor that felt wrong. The gravity kept changing. One moment he felt heavy, the next moment light. The air pressure made his ears pop every few seconds. The walls showed moving patterns that hurt his eyes if he looked too long. Everything was designed to make him uncomfortable. 2 guards waited for him. They were tall creatures with gray skin and too many joints in their arms. They did not speak. They just pointed down the hallway. Wu followed them, keeping his face calm even though his stomach felt sick from the changing gravity. The negotiation chamber was enormous. 7 platforms floated at different heights around the room. Each platform held a representative from a different alien species. In the center was a single chair. That chair was for Wu. He sat down and looked up at the aliens who would judge his entire species. The largest platform held a creature that looked like a giant insect. Its body was covered in dark green armor. Multiple eyes watched Wu from a triangular head. This was leader of the species. He spoke first, and a computer translated his clicking sounds into words Wu could understand. Human representative, we have studied your species. We have watched your history. We have seen your entertainment media. You are a young species, a weak species. You have much to learn about the galaxy. Wu said nothing. He had been warned about this. The consortium liked to test new species. They wanted to see who would break under pressure. Another alien spoke. This one lived in a tank of blue liquid. Its body was long and smooth like an eel. We have prepared a demonstration, the creature said. Its name was Morpheus and it spoke for the people. We want to show you what frightens your species. We want you to understand the dangers of the galaxy. The lights in the chamber went dark. Suddenly the walls came alive with images. Wu recognized them immediately. They were playing scenes from old Earth movies. Specifically, they were playing clips from the Predator films. On the massive screens, the alien hunter stalked human soldiers through a jungle. It killed them one by one. The humans screamed and died. Their weapons did nothing against the creature. The aliens in the chamber watched Wu carefully. They wanted to see fear. They wanted to see him realize how small and helpless humanity was compared to the dangers waiting in space. More clips played. The Predator ripped through human defenses. It hunted humans for sport. In one scene, it tore the spine from a dead soldier's body. In another, it fought hand-to-hand with a human and won easily. The final clip showed the creature activating a self-destruct device, creating a massive explosion. When the images finally stopped, the lights came back on, made a sound like laughter. His mandibles clicked together rapidly. Your species trembles before fictional monsters, human. These are just stories you tell, just images on screens. And yet they terrify you. How will you survive real dangers in the galaxy? How will you face actual predators? Several other aliens made sounds of agreement. One of them, a floating creature covered in tentacles, spoke in a high-pitched voice. Perhaps humans should enter the consortium as a protected species. You clearly need others to defend you. Wu had remained quiet during the entire presentation. He had watched the clips without expression. Now he leaned back in his chair. He looked up at the other council members. His face was calm, almost bored. "Want me to bring one?" he asked. The chamber went silent. The translator computers made confused sounds. They seemed unsure they had understood correctly. Morpheus spoke first. "Bring what human?" "A predator," Wu said. His voice was steady. "From Earth. You seem very interested in them. I could bring one here. Let you see what they are really like." His mandibles stopped clicking. "You speak nonsense. Those creatures in your films are fiction, fantasy. They do not exist." "The specific creature in those films does not exist," Wu agreed. But you called them predators. You said we fear them. Earth has plenty of actual predators, real ones, living ones. Would you like to meet one? The aliens looked at each other. Some made sounds of confusion. Others seemed angry. A small reptilian alien on the lowest platform spoke up. This human mocks us. He makes jokes about serious matters. But Wu was not joking. His face remained serious. I am completely sincere. You have studied our entertainment media. You think it shows our fears, but you do not understand what it really shows. It shows our history, our reality. We make movies about fighting monsters because we have always fought monsters, every day, on our own world. Leaned forward on his platform. Explain yourself, human. Earth is a death world, Wu said simply. Our planet has thousands of apex predators, creatures that could kill any human in seconds. We evolved alongside them. We learned to survive among them. The creatures in our films frighten us, yes, but they also fascinate us, because they remind us of home. The chamber filled with the sound of alien voices talking over each other. Some were laughing. Others sounded angry. Morpheus raised one long fin for silence. You claim your world is dangerous, they said. You claim you live among predators, but our databases say Earth is a mild world, pleasant, comfortable for life. Wu smiled for the first time. It was not a friendly smile. Then your databases are very, very wrong. The argument continued for over an hour. The council members insisted that Wu was exaggerating. Their computers had scanned Earth many times. They had detailed information about the planet. Yes, there were some dangerous animals, but nothing that compared to the true predators found on other worlds. Wu listened patiently. Then he pulled up his own data on a holographic display. He showed images of sharks, great white sharks attacking seals, their teeth like knives. He showed images of crocodiles dragging prey underwater, lions hunting in groups, bears standing twice as tall as a human, wolves circling their targets, snakes with venom that could kill in minutes. These are common animals on Earth, he said. Children learn about them in school. We teach our young how to avoid them, how to survive if they meet one, because they are everywhere. A bird-like alien with purple feathers made a chirping sound. We have dangerous animals on our world too, but we do not live in fear of them. Neither do we, Wu replied. That is my point. We learn to live with them, to coexist, and when necessary to fight them. Our ancestors had no technology, no weapons except stones and wood, and they survived. They hunted creatures that could have easily killed them. They won. Was quiet now, he seemed to be thinking. Finally he spoke again. You wish to prove that humans are not weak prey species. Very well, we will give you a chance. He made a gesture with one clawed arm. A document appeared on the holographic screens. It was a formal contract written in multiple languages. We propose a wager, said. You claim Earth has impressive predators. Bring one here. Bring it to this station. Our combat evaluation team will test it. If your creature impresses us, humanity will receive full voting rights in the consortium. You will be equals, partners. Morpheus continued where stopped. But if your creature fails, if it disappoints us, then humanity will enter the consortium as a client species. You will serve under supervision for 100 standard years. You will have no vote, no independence. Wu felt his heart beat faster. This was a huge risk. 100 years of servitude if he failed, but full membership if he succeeded. He thought about asking for time to consult with Earth Command, to get approval from his superiors. Then he looked at the aliens around him. They expected him to be afraid. They expected him to back down. That was why they made the offer. They thought he was bluffing. I accept, Wu said. The chamber erupted in noise again. His assistant one, who had been sitting quietly in the back, jumped to her feet. Representative Wu, may I speak with you privately? Wu stood and walked to the edge of the chamber. One grabbed his arm. Her face was pale. Are you insane? She whispered harshly. You cannot agree to this. You have no authority to risk humanity's future on a bet. I have authority to negotiate terms, Wu said calmly. This is a negotiation. This is suicide, one hissed. What if your creature loses? What if they decide it is not impressive? We will all pay the price. They will be impressed, Wu said. He sounded completely confident. One stared at him. How can you be so sure? Because they have no idea what Earth is really like, Wu said. Their databases are wrong. They have never visited our world. They have only scanned it from space. They see our cities and our technology. They do not see what lives in the oceans, in the forests, in the frozen places. They are about to learn. He walked back to the center of the chamber, was waiting. You accept our terms, human. I do, Wu confirmed, but I have my own condition. Several aliens made sounds of surprise, tilted his head. You wish to add to the agreement. 1 week, Wu said. 1 standard galactic week to return with my creature, and I choose which of your team members will face it in evaluation. His mandibles clicked rapidly. He was amused. You believe you can choose your opponent. Very bold, human, very foolish, but we accept. 1 week. And you may choose who faces your creature. It will not matter. Our warriors are trained to fight the most dangerous beings in the galaxy. We will see, Wu said quietly. The contracts were formalized. Both sides applied their official seals. Wu felt the weight of what he had just done. He had bet everything on a plan that existed only in his head. He had not even chosen the creature yet. He just knew that Earth had options. Lots of options. As he walked back to his shuttle, one followed him in angry silence. When they were finally alone in the ship, she exploded. Explain, she demanded. Explain what you are thinking. What creature could possibly impress them enough to win this wager? Wu sat in the pilot's chair and began entering coordinates for Earth. I have some ideas, but first I need to talk to someone, a specialist. What kind of specialist? The kind who studies predators, Wu said. The kind who understands what makes them dangerous, not just their strength, not just their speed, but their intelligence, their adaptability, the way they think. The shuttle launched from the station. Through the window, Wu could see the council members returning to their ships. He knew they were laughing. They thought they had trapped a stupid human. They thought this wager was already won. Morpheus sent a final message before communications cut off. Safe travels, human. We look forward to your return, or your failure. Wu did not reply. He just watched the stars as they jumped to faster-than-light speed. Beside him, one was already typing messages to Earth Command, explaining the situation, requesting emergency assistance. They are going to be very angry with you, she said. Probably, Wu agreed. But they will also understand why I did it. The consortium was never going to respect us, not unless we proved we deserved respect. Words would not work. We need to show them. Show them what? Wu smiled. Show them that humans did not become the dominant species on Earth by accident. We earned it every single day. The research facility sat in the middle of nowhere. Snow covered everything for miles in every direction. The temperature outside was 30 degrees below zero. Wu wore 3 layers of clothing and still felt cold. One refused to leave the shuttle. A man came out to meet them. He was older, maybe 60, with a thick beard already turning white. He wore just one heavy coat and seemed comfortable in the freezing weather. You must be Representative Wu, the man said. I am Doctor, I got your message, though I will admit I thought it was a joke. They shook hands, his grip was strong. No joke, Wu said. I need your help and I need it fast. Come inside, said. Explain what you need. The facility was warm and modern inside. Led Wu through several corridors to a large observation room. One wall was entirely made of thick glass. Beyond the glass was an enclosure filled with snow and rocks and a small pond. Nothing moved out there. So, said, pouring hot coffee for both of them. You want to take a predator into space, To prove a point to aliens. Do you understand how that sounds? Completely insane, Wu said. Yes, but it is also necessary. The consortium thinks we are weak. They think Earth is a safe, comfortable world. They want to make us servants. I need to change their minds. Sat down heavily. What kind of predator are you thinking about? That is why I came to you, Wu said. You are the expert. You have studied predators your whole life. I need something that will impress aliens who think they have seen everything. Something that shows raw power but also intelligence, adaptability, controlled aggression. Was quiet for a long moment. He drank his coffee and stared out the window at the empty enclosure. I have some ideas. Tigers are impressive. 700 pounds of muscle and teeth, fast, smart. But they are ambush hunters. They might not perform well in an arena setting. What else? Wu asked. Crocodiles are older than dinosaurs, perfect killing machines, but they are reptiles, cold-blooded. If the temperature is wrong, they become sluggish. That is a risk. Keep going. Stood and walked to the glass. Grizzly bears are powerful. They can run fast despite their size. They can climb. They can swim. But they are omnivores. They mostly eat plants and fish. The aliens might not see them as true predators. Wu joined him at the window. You have something else in mind, I can tell. I do, admitted. But it is risky, very risky. If anything goes wrong, people could die. Tell me. Pressed a button on the wall. Lights came on in the enclosure outside. Movement near the pond caught Wu's attention. Something white and massive rose from the water. This is Jin, said softly. I named her after my daughter. She is a polar bear, female, 8 years old, 800 pounds. Wu watched as the bear climbed out of the water. She was enormous. Her fur was white and thick. Water dripped from her body. She shook herself, sending spray everywhere. Then she stood up on her back legs. How tall is she? Wu asked quietly. Almost 10 feet when standing, said. Polar bears are the largest land predators on Earth. They hunt seals in the Arctic. They can swim for days without stopping. They can run 25 miles per hour. They can break through thick ice with their paws. And they are smart, much smarter than people realize. Jin dropped back to all 4 legs and walked closer to the glass. Her eyes were dark and calm. She seemed curious about the humans watching her. You have been training her? Wu asked. Studying her, corrected. She is not a pet. She is not tame, but she has been raised around humans since she was a cub. She understands certain commands. She can control her aggression. Most importantly, she can read situations. She knows when something is a threat and when it is not. Will she perform in front of aliens, in a strange place? Considered this. If she perceives a threat, she will respond. Polar bears are apex predators. They have no natural enemies except other polar bears. If your aliens want to test her, she will show them what she can do. Wu watched the bear for several more minutes. She was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. What about transport, life support? Can we move her safely? That is the hard part, said. We would need a specialized containment unit, temperature control, food, water, and I would need to come with you. She knows me. She trusts me. Well, as much as a polar bear trusts anyone. We also need a veterinarian, Wu said. Someone who knows her medical needs. Dr. Min said immediately. She has been Jin's doctor since birth. She will want to come. They spent the next hour discussing logistics. It was complicated. It was expensive. It was dangerous, but it was possible. Finally, Wu made his decision. Let us do it. We have 6 days left. Can we be ready in time? Looked at Jin through the glass. The bear had settled down in the snow, watching them with those intelligent dark eyes. She is ready now. It is the rest of us who need to prepare. One was called in. She organized everything with the efficiency that made her an excellent assistant. Earth Command was contacted. They were not happy about the risk, but they approved the plan. Special containers were built. A modified cargo shuttle was prepared. Dr. Min arrived with equipment and supplies. On the fifth day, they loaded Jin into the containment unit. It was large enough for her to move around comfortably. The walls were reinforced steel with thick insulation. Air systems kept the temperature cold, just how she liked it. Cameras let them monitor her at all times. The bear handled the transfer calmly. She had been sedated slightly, just enough to keep her relaxed. Dr. Min stayed near the unit, watching the medical monitors. Heart rate is good, she reported. No signs of distress, she is doing fine. Stood next to the containment unit with one hand on the metal wall. I hope you know what you are doing, Wu. This animal trusts us. We are taking her away from everything she knows, putting her in a completely alien environment. If something happens to her because of this stupid wager. Nothing will happen to her, Wu said firmly. We will keep her safe, and when this is over she goes home, I promise. On the sixth day, they launched. The shuttle climbed through Earth's atmosphere and into space. Inside her container, Jin slept peacefully. She had no idea that she was about to become the most important diplomat in human history. The consortium station was different this time. The negotiation chamber had been transformed into an arena. Seats filled with thousands of alien spectators surrounded a large open space. Barriers made of energy fields separated the crowd from the center. Everyone wanted to watch the human fail. Betting pools ran across multiple species. The odds were heavily against humanity. Most aliens assumed Wu had brought some trained animal that would perform tricks. A few thought he might bring something mildly dangerous, like a venomous creature or an aggressive reptile. None of them expected what was actually coming. Stood in his observation booth with the other council members. He seemed relaxed and confident. The human returns, he said through his translator. Right on schedule. I am almost disappointed. I thought he might run away. Morpheus floated in his tank nearby. Perhaps we were too harsh. Perhaps we should have given him an easier challenge. No, replied. If humans wish to join the consortium, they must prove themselves worthy. This is how we maintain standards. The arena went quiet as Wu's shuttle docked. The cargo bay opened slowly. A large rectangular container rolled into the arena on automated wheels. It was bigger than most aliens expected. Some of them leaned forward in their seats. One appeared on the holographic displays positioned around the arena. Her image was 10 feet tall so everyone could see her clearly. She began the presentation. Members of the consortium, she said formally, humanity thanks you for this opportunity. We will now introduce you to a representative predator from Earth, specifically from our Arctic regions. The displays changed to show images of Earth's frozen north, ice fields stretching forever, dark oceans, harsh winds. The aliens watched with interest. The creature you are about to meet, one continued, is called a polar bear. It is the largest land predator on our planet. An adult female like the one we brought can weigh 800 pounds. They can run at speeds up to 25 miles per hour. They can swim for over 60 miles without stopping. Their bite force measures 1,200 pounds per square inch. Some aliens made sounds of surprise. Those were impressive numbers, but numbers alone did not tell the whole story. Polar bears, one said, live in one of Earth's most hostile environments. Temperatures regularly drop to 60 degrees below zero. Food is scarce. The ice constantly shifts and breaks. Despite this, polar bears thrive. They are intelligent problem solvers. They can track prey across miles of empty ice. They can find seal-breathing holes hidden under thick snow. They have no natural predators except other polar bears. The displays showed video of polar bears hunting. One massive male chased down a seal. Another broke through ice 2 feet thick with a single blow from its paw. A mother with cubs defended her family from an approaching male twice her size. Leaned forward in his booth. Impressive animals, but the question remains whether they can face a true warrior. "We are ready for your test," Wu said. He stood calmly near the containment unit, and Dr. Min flanked him on either side. The Council's combat evaluation team entered the arena from the opposite side. Their champion was a warrior named. He wore full battle armor made from some kind of dark metal. It covered him from head to foot. He carried a plasma rifle in his upper arms and a heavy blade in his lower arms. "Standard protocol," announced. "The creature faces an armed opponent. If it retreats or submits, it fails. If it attacks but cannot penetrate military-grade armor, it fails. Only if it demonstrates true apex predator capabilities will it pass." Wu nodded. "Understood. Release your warrior first. Give him time to take position." Walked to the center of the arena. He moved with the confidence of someone who had done this many times before. He had faced creatures from dozens of worlds, creatures with acid blood, creatures with multiple heads, creatures that could regenerate lost limbs. None of them had ever beaten him. "We are ready," said. His voice was calm through his armor speakers. Looked at Wu. "Last chance to back out." "Open the container," Wu said quietly. Dr. Min pressed a button on her remote control. The front wall of the containment unit began to lift. The arena went completely silent. Every alien was watching. Jin emerged slowly. She took her time looking around at this strange new place. The lights were different from anything she had experienced. The air smelled wrong. The ground felt odd under her paws, but she was not afraid. Polar bears do not fear easily. She stood on her back legs, 10 feet of white fur and muscle. Her black nose tested the air. Her dark eyes swept across the arena, taking in the crowd, the lights, the alien warrior standing in the center. The crowd gasped. Even through multiple barriers, they could feel her presence. She was bigger than their screens had shown, more real, more dangerous. Jin dropped to all 4 legs and began to circle. She did not charge immediately. She watched, she studied. This was how polar bears hunted, patient, observant, waiting for the right moment. Raised his plasma rifle. "I will begin now." He fired. The plasma bolt streaked across the arena. Jin moved. For something so massive, she was incredibly fast. The bolt missed her by inches, fired again. This time the shot grazed her shoulder. Her fur began to smoke where the heat touched it. Jin made a sound, not pain, anger. The scent of burned fur filled the arena. She stopped circling. Her body language changed completely. "Oh no," whispered. Prepared to fire a 3rd time, he never got the chance. Jin charged. 800 pounds of apex predator crossed the arena in seconds. Was trained. He was experienced. He tried to dodge, but nothing could have prepared him for the combination of speed and mass coming at him. Jin feinted left, a tactic she used hunting seals. When adjusted his aim, she went right. Suddenly she was on top of him. One massive paw swung out. It connected with his chest armor. The metal dented inward with a sound like thunder. Staggered, he tried to bring his blade up. Jin's jaws closed around his weapon arm. The pressure was incredible. The armor, designed to withstand plasma fire, began to crumple. Warning alarms blared from suit. The warrior's panic signals activated automatically. Emergency extraction protocols engaged. Energy fields surrounded him and pulled him away from the bear. He materialized in the medical bay seconds later. Safe, alive, but injured. His armor was crushed in 2 places. His pride was destroyed. The arena erupted in chaos. Half the aliens were trying to leave. They had never seen anything like this. The other half sat frozen, unable to process what they had just witnessed. Jin stood in the center of the arena where had been moments before. She was panting slightly. Her fur still smoked from the plasma burn, but she was calm now. The threat was gone. She sat down on her haunches. Dr. Min hurried forward with food rewards, chunks of fish stored in a cold container. Jin accepted them gently. Her entire demeanor changed. She was no longer a killing machine. She was just an animal who had defended herself and now wanted a snack. Wu walked to stand beside her. He looked up at the observation booth where the council sat in stunned silence. "This," he said clearly, his voice carrying across the arena, "is what we consider a local threat on Earth. We have thousands of species like this. Brown bears, tigers, crocodiles, sharks, wolves, leopards. Every continent has apex predators, every ocean, every ecosystem." He paused to let that sink in. And yet we became the dominant species, not by being stronger than them, not by being faster or more dangerous, but by being smarter, more adaptable, more willing to work together. Our ancestors faced creatures like Jinn with nothing but stone tools and fire, and they won, not by fighting every battle, but by choosing which battles to fight, by respecting nature, by learning from it. The crowd was silent now, listening. "You wanted to know if humans are worthy of joining the consortium," Wu continued. "You wanted proof. Here is your proof. We survived Earth. We thrived on Earth. And we are ready to take our place among the stars." The council called an emergency session immediately. They met in private while the arena was cleared and Jin was returned to her container. Dr. Min examined her carefully. The plasma burn on her shoulder was minor, already healing. The bear seemed more interested in eating than worrying about her injury. Meanwhile, the betting pools collapsed. Millions of credits changed hands across dozens of species. Arguments broke out among the spectators. Several alien delegations filed formal complaints claiming the demonstration was staged. They demanded proof that the bear was entirely natural and not enhanced with technology. Dr. Min provided complete medical scans, blood tests, genetic analysis. Everything proved that Jin was 100% organic, no cybernetics, no genetic modifications, just a normal polar bear from Earth. "Impossible," one council member kept saying. "No natural creature should be that dangerous." "Earth is different from your worlds," one replied calmly. "We tried to tell you, your databases were incomplete." The debates continued for hours. Some aliens argued that Earth should be classified as a forbidden world, too dangerous for colonization. Others suggested that humanity should be studied as an extreme survival species. A few actually laughed, admitting they had been completely wrong about humans. Was notably quiet during most of the discussions. He watched the footage of the fight repeatedly. Each time his mandibles clicked slower. Finally he spoke. "We were fools," he said simply. "We judged an entire species based on incomplete information. We assumed their entertainment media showed weakness. We did not consider it might show familiarity." Morpheus agreed. The human was right. They make movies about fighting monsters because they have always fought monsters. It is their normal, their everyday reality. A bird-like council member raised one wing. "But if their world is so dangerous, how did they develop civilization? How did they advance?" It was Wu who answered that question. He had been invited to the council chamber for the final deliberations. "We learned cooperation. A single human cannot defeat a polar bear, but 10 humans working together can. We learned to share knowledge, to pass information between generations, to build on what came before. We learned that intelligence and teamwork matter more than individual strength." He pulled up images on the display screens. Ancient cave paintings showing humans hunting mammoths, Stone Age tools, arrows and spears. Our ancestors were weaker than almost every predator they met, but they were smarter. They planned, they cooperated, they adapted. That is how we survived. More images appeared. Medieval castles, Renaissance art, Industrial Revolution, Space Age technology. Every step of our development happened while we lived alongside creatures that could kill us. We never had the luxury of being safe. We earned our place at the top of Earth's food chain, and we remember what it cost. The council was silent for a long moment, then stood. "I call for a vote. All those in favor of granting humanity full membership status in the consortium, with complete voting rights and equal partnership. Every council member raised their appendage in agreement. It was unanimous. The measure passes, announced. Humanity is welcomed as a full member. We apologize for our initial disrespect. We did not understand who we were dealing with. Wu bowed slightly. Your apology is accepted. We look forward to working together. Over the following days, everything changed. Species that had ignored humanity suddenly wanted to establish diplomatic relations. They offered a formal military alliance. Several scientific institutes requested permission to study Earth's ecosystems. Tourism companies wanted to organize extreme adventure expeditions to the Death World. Morpheus met privately with Wu in a quiet observation lounge. They seemed genuinely curious. May I ask you something personal? Of course, Wu said. You live among creatures like that bear. How do you sleep at night? How do you feel safe? Wu considered the question. We learn respect. We understand that nature is powerful. We do not try to conquer it. We try to coexist with it. Most predators will avoid humans if given the choice. They do not want to fight us any more than we want to fight them. But if we are careless, if we are disrespectful, then yes, they can be dangerous. And you are not afraid. We are always a little afraid, Wu admitted. But fear is useful. It keeps us alert. It keeps us alive. We learn to use fear as a tool, not let it control us. Morpheus was quiet for a moment. I think I understand now why you make movies about monsters. It is not because you fear them. It is because you respect them. Exactly, Wu said. Every monster movie is a reminder, a lesson. Do not underestimate nature. Do not think you are invincible. Always remember that there are forces greater than yourself. The conversation was interrupted by one. Representative Wu, we have received approval for Jin's return to Earth. Doctor has finalized the arrangements. Wu stood. Thank you. I should go see them off. At the docking bay, the containment unit was being loaded onto the shuttle. Supervised everything personally. He would not trust anyone else with his precious bear. Dr. Min was already inside, checking the life support systems. Everything is ready, said when Wu approached. Jin will be home in 3 weeks, back to her enclosure, back to her normal life. Will she remember this? Wu asked. Who knows what a polar bear remembers, smiled. But I will remember, everyone will remember, the day a bear changed the fate of humanity. Through the container's viewing window, they could see Jin sleeping peacefully. She had no idea she was famous now. Her image was being transmitted across the entire consortium. Billions of aliens had watched her fight. Scientists were already writing papers about her. Artists were creating statues and paintings. She should receive a medal, one said. She is a hero. She is just a bear, replied. Doing what bears do, surviving, defending herself, being exactly what nature designed her to be. He paused. But yes, she is also a hero. We will make sure she is well cared for. She has earned that much. The shuttle departed soon after. Wu and one watched it disappear into the darkness of space. Then they returned to their own ship to begin the journey home. News had already reached Earth. Humanity's acceptance into the consortium was being celebrated everywhere. But among wildlife researchers and conservationists, a different story spread. They talked about how an 800-pound polar bear had become the galaxy's most effective diplomat without even knowing it. 3 weeks later, Doctor stood outside Jin's enclosure in the frozen wilderness. The bear had been released that morning. She had walked out of the container, looked around at the familiar snow and ice, and immediately jumped into her pond. Now she was swimming in lazy circles, completely content. Welcome home, said softly. You magnificent creature, you have no idea what you accomplished. But perhaps, in her own way, she understood. Predators always know when they have won. Not because they destroyed their opponent, but because their opponent learned respect. back on the consortium station, was updating Earth's entry in the galactic database. Where it once said, low-threat world with docile fauna, he now wrote something very different. Earth, death world. Extreme caution advised. Home to thousands of apex predators. Indigenous intelligent species survived and thrived through cooperation, adaptability, and strategic thinking. Approach with respect. He paused, then added one more line. Do not underestimate humans. They earned their place in the galaxy the hard way. Morpheus reviewed the entry and approved it. That should have been obvious from the start, the said. Any species that makes entertainment about fighting monsters is telling you something important about themselves. Yes, agreed. They are telling you that monsters are not fiction to them. Monsters are neighbors, and they learn to live among neighbors that would terrify the rest of us. The entry was published across the consortium network. Other species read it with new understanding, some with fear, some with admiration, but all with respect. And in the frozen north of Earth, a polar bear named Jin slept peacefully, dreaming whatever polar bears dream. She had faced strange things in a strange place. She had defended herself successfully. Now she was home, where she belonged. That was all that mattered to her. But to humanity, she represented something more. She was proof that their world had shaped them into something unique, something capable, something worthy of standing equal among the stars. Not despite Earth's dangers, because of them.